Hello and welcome to the start of my semester at sea adventure. Here you'll see my parents and I on the way to the airport where we boarded our first flight to Detroit. The clouds were so pretty up in the sky. I had to take a few clips. When we landed safely in Detroit, my parents and I had a little bit of time, so we went into the Delta Sky Club lounge for some lunch and rest time. Following lunch, we walked to find the gate for our flight to Amsterdam. My parents boarded before me since they were in first class, so here's some little clips and pictures of getting on the airplane. I made my way back to my seat where I met the two people sitting next to me who were so kind and lovely to talk to. I watched some Love is Blind, tried to take some naps and sleep a little bit, but ultimately I don't sleep too well on planes, so when we got there, I was so tired, my friends. So excited to be there, but was really trying not to fall asleep everywhere we were.
Guys, I'm running on no sleep, and I'm quite literally going to go to sleep on a park bench because our hotel won't be ready until 2 p.m. and it's 9 a.m.
I was not kidding when I said that I was going to sleep on a park bench. We literally took a walk around, found some benches to sit down and hang out at for a little bit, and I took a nap. However, our hotel did end up being ready 2 hours early, which was so nice. So we went, got a nap in, and then walked around that evening, found some dinner, and it ended up raining outside, so then we moved inside and enjoyed the food and each other's company. When we were finished with our meal, we looked on the map to see what we could walk around and see. We ended up taking the tram to a few different areas and just walking around and seeing the beautiful sights. We had some good conversation about the differences between America and the Netherlands, and noticed that TK Maxx is Amsterdam's version of TJ Maxx back in the US, which we thought was really interesting. We then walked back to the hotel to get some rest before the next morning we had a bike tour booked around the city. I absolutely loved the architecture and the detail of the buildings in Amsterdam. We had a little bit of time to spare before our bike tour, so we walked around and admired it all. As we cycled through the city, we would make certain stops at different points, and our tour guide would give us some history and facts about each of them. He was so kind and really knowledgeable about all the different sites. I would absolutely recommend doing a bike tour when you go if you're able. Next, we went to get poke bowls at this poke shop. I love poke bowls so much, so I was super excited. Then we stopped at the famous fry place to get some fable frits. We then took the metro back to the hotel, rested for a little bit, and that evening we went on a beautiful canal tour, which was so much fun. Another thing I would absolutely recommend doing. We actually loved it so much that we booked another one for the next day that was a little bit longer. The weather could not have been more in our favor, and it was just such a fun social setting. They served drinks and snacks and gave us some history, facts, and some humor about the various places we saw. After a fantastic canal tour, we found a dinner spot that we walked to and ate outside with some delicious food. Then we walked by where this roller skating rink was to admire the fun and made our way back to the hotel. The next morning, we woke up early and took the tram to a different bike rental shop where we had an e-bike tour booked to see the countryside. However, when we got there, apparently there was an issue with TripAdvisor where they didn't see we had a tour booked and they didn't have any e-bikes left for us. So we ended up getting refunded and they let us use some regular bikes to bike out to the countryside, which was very kind of them. And they had a little app that we could download on our phones that would tell us the history about the various sites we were seeing. However, there was this bridge that we were supposed to take at a certain point that was closed, so we ended up turning back around and coming back a bit early instead of taking the long way around. From the ferry, we saw these super tall swings that were mounted on top of that building. Next, we biked over to this delicious brunch spot called Mortimer They truly had such amazing food, and also I thought it was so cute and intentional. They had this little sign that said, "No laptops out after 10 a.m. on the weekends, just talk to each other and enjoy our service." After lunch, we dropped the bikes back off, then went to a tram stop where there was this adorable dog that was so sweet. Then we made our way back to the hotel, rested for a bit, then took the tram back out to our meeting spot for the canal tour. The boat had these little plates and great cushions where we could spread out and hear from two wonderful tour guides. The girl sitting next to me was so sweet and was there with her family, and through conversation we found out that we were both going on semester at sea this fall, and it was just so fun to make a friend. And we also realized that we had chatted some back and forth on Instagram before coming, so it's just so cool that we got to meet in this random way before the voyage. Our families ended up going out to dinner together that night and had great conversation before going back to the hotel to settle in for the night before embarkation on the ship the following day, which is the next vlog. So feel free to check that out. Thank you so much for watching.